Hello and welcome to another episode of Awaken and Unfiltered. I am your host, Erica Barretto. Today, I wanted to dive into really trying to understand exactly what a spiritual awakening is. And not only understanding what it is, but understanding that it happens in layers. It happens in multiple areas of our life throughout our lifetime. And, I think a lot of people misunderstand a spiritual awakening. What it does is change how you perceive the world outside of you. But this happens in layers. Could you imagine everything just kind of piling up on you at once? It would be terrible because most people will say that their first spiritual awakening can be quite heavy. It's probably the moment in your life where you feel like everything is crashing down around you, losing relationships, losing jobs, maybe experiencing issues with health. Whatever that is for you in the moment where you find yourself really questioning life, questioning everything about every day that you wake up. That is what I would call that first initial awakening, where you start to look for truth outside of you. You look for it outside of you, but then you fully understand at some point that all of that truth really is inside. So we have to go inward. Just many people think that it happens once, but the truth is it's in layers. It is not a single moment. It is a lifelong unfolding. It is. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. And each time you see more truth, more of yourself, and more of spirit. There could be this sense of where you had this initial awakening and you started to really look at the world really differently around you. You started to challenge beliefs that you once had. You start to really understand the wounds and the things that you carry within that have made you the person that you are. And through that process, we are diving into our shadow. We are understanding that we are that shadow. We have to deal with the things that have made us feel bad about ourselves, or the societal norms that have put us in this place of believing certain things and having us follow this one path, and that's it. You really start to question everything around you. And what this is, it's a part of you really expanding your consciousness, expanding it into understanding love, understanding compassion, and your purpose, which can take a minute. It's not something that we all figure out at the beginning. Because again, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I started my life in a career of doing law enforcement, and I thought that was my life until God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, had bigger plans for me and said, guess what? Nope, that's not your path. That's exactly not where you are supposed to be at. And for me, I feel like my awakening really started in a place of fear, unfolding these different parts of myself, really asking questions and looking at things with a logical mind and just saying, well, if this is this, then how come we've been told this? You have to be grounded in your work. You will find yourself going down many rabbit holes, opening up doors to things that are flooding your mind, and you could easily cross over into the line of delusion, and it will take you to a whole nother realm of things. So if you are somebody that's listening to this podcast right now and you are going through an initial awakening, or maybe you're in another layer of an awakening, I advise you to remain grounded, to find what works for you. Something that I teach my students is to always go back to your why. Why did you decide to go onto your spiritual path? Why did you decide to go into seeking deeper parts of yourself? And also, what are the things that bring you peace? What are the things that bring you to a place of comfort? And for me, it's always just been sitting outside, sitting on the grass, meditating, doing breath work, stretching. So that's my go back to basics. And it brings me back to that place of being grounded when I find myself starting to spiral, because it could easily happen when you get so involved in things and you're wanting to know everything at once. So I say take everything in little chunks. Don't want to learn everything all at once, because that will have you spiraling, and it really will have you questioning yourself, your reality, and things in front of you. So you don't want to take yourself to that place. So always try to remain grounded. in whatever it is that you are looking into, whether it be your shadow work, or maybe you're wanting to learn more about the spirit world. Whatever it is, remain grounded. Now, one of the hardest things that I think we all have to deal with, and it is a forever journey, it's not something that we just put aside and that's it. Once we're done, is that healing work, that shadow work. And along the way, and the way I have seen it with my experiences, I found my light in the depth of the darkness that I was in the places of my life where I felt like I did not want to be here another day. And I questioned, why? Why do I feel like this if I have so much beautiful things in front of me, right? I have so much beautiful things for me to be grateful for. Why do I feel the way I feel? And it came back to a lot of the traumas and things that I have went through as a child. But then I realized, I can't sit here and point the finger and blame everything outside of myself, because this is coming from within. So I have to look at those layers of myself. And a lot of it came down to the perception, the belief on the things that I had made my reality with what I see in my mind. Nobody else can see what I see, and nobody else can feel what I feel, so they wouldn't understand. So, of course, I'm always going to tell you I'm a big advocate for therapy. It literally saved my life. So if that's something you may feel you benefit from, go ahead, do that. Please do, because there's nothing wrong. There's nothing to shame for it. Do what you have to do to get the help that you need. If you're finding yourself needing the help, sometimes we can navigate these challenges on our own, and sometimes we need a little extra helping hand. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm always going to be one to tell you, go get a therapist if you need one. They will help you navigate. They will help you understand yourself, and they will give you different tools for you to utilize so that you can help and heal yourself. A big part of our healing journey, especially if you're stepping into this path to become a spiritual worker, a healer, you will find that a lot of the things that you have experienced on your path are things that you are going to help people with on theirs. Because once you conquer your own demons, once you see exactly where it comes from and why they are there, you learn the lessons behind it. You also look at the wounds, you look at the patterns that you've avoided in your life, the limiting beliefs, the fears, and you just really emphasize that healing on that. You make it a core part of yourself to really dig deep, to understand, and to really learn how to integrate those parts with yourself. So again, there's many things that you could do there. You can do journaling, energy work, find a good energy worker, a Reiki healer, and see if they can help you navigate that. Inner child work, meditation. I mean, I could keep going on. It's about you finding what works for you, because you can hear a bunch of things and you can say, well, that might sound right, but you have to actually do the things to see if it actually works for you, which is what I did. I had to go through many different things to see what works for me. What brings me to that place of calmness? What helps me quiet my thoughts? And for me, it was always stretching, breathing, and just sitting down. Sometimes not even meditating, just closing my eyes, just to listen to the things around me, just to really embrace that presence, really embrace the moment that I'm in, but also being grateful for the moments that I've experienced in my life. And that's, I think, another layer of a spiritual awakening, when you get to that point and you really have gratitude for the things that you experienced, right? I don't blame my parents. At one point I did, right? Because I was going through it and I just wanted the pain to go away. And what better way than to blame everybody else around me than to take accountability for my own feelings? So that's something you might really want to look at. You want to look at how you feel within. Why do you feel the way you feel? It is a roller coaster ride, and it's going to be a forever thing. It's not something that is one and done. It happens in layers, and it will show up in many areas of your life. A spiritual awakening can be quite messy. It can be. It could be so messy. It has its peaks. It has its lows. There's moments of clarity, there's moments of joy. And I think that's why people get so confused when they start this journey and you come from those depths of hell when it comes to experiencing your emotions and the things that you have been through. And then you go into this blissful moment of knowing, wow, the answer was love all along. The answer was me finding me, loving me. And some people get stuck in that moment of love and light. And I can tell you that there was a moment that I got stuck there too. I did. And shortly after I realized, holy shit, this is not something I can sit in because I am made of both. I'm not trying to get rid of my shadows. I'm not trying to get rid of those parts of me that make me me. And there's something that I always emphasize as far as your feelings when it comes to anger, when it comes to you having frustration. Feel your feelings. Do not bypass your feelings. Allow yourself to go through it. Allow yourself to feel and unravel what is going on in the moment. These cycles are very natural and they are very necessary for your growth. And right now, you might not see it like that if you are in the midst of a moment where you feel like everything is falling apart around you and you just don't understand why. I am going to tell you, as somebody who is constantly going through shifts, I would say every 4 months, it could be quite a thing where you start to understand and realize, okay, this is just a part of my evolution. This is something that I learned. And you look at these things differently rather than feeling like a victim, but understanding that these things are happening for you to understand yourself, for you to really work on yourself and the things that are going to help you grow. And also, if you're a spiritual worker healer, something that is going to help you help others. So know that it's a bumpy ride. But I reassure you, it is going to get you back and closer to yourself. Closer to yourself, closer to you understanding what are the things that you are meant to do in this lifetime. And I just want to reiterate that sometimes you may feel like you have this one main purpose at the beginning of your spiritual awakening, and then over time it starts to shift. It starts to shift because there's different things that you encounter. There are new people that enter your lives, maybe things that you learn. So it's constantly going to change. It's almost like, I like to think about it like if you were in high school, is it like senior year, you're like, this is what I want to do, and I want to go to college for this. And then you go to college, but you soon realize, you know what? I don't really like this. I thought I wanted to do this. So now you change your major. You go to another major. It's the same thing. We're always changing. We are always evolving, and we are never the same people we were yesterday. So at this point in time, it's about you giving yourself grace and understanding that shift within yourself as well. And sometimes we grieve the person that we were, right? We have sadness for who we were, and we have to learn that those are just parts of ourselves. And it's about letting go those parts of who we were so that we can grow and be who we are wanting to be. And that takes time. Those things unravel slowly. Thank God, because if it didn't, could you imagine the whirlwind of things that you would experience all at once? It would be too much, I think, for you to handle. And I think that we are given the things that we can handle right in that moment. So I just want you to know that, a spiritual awakening isn't a one-time event. It is a lifelong unfolding. And the key to this journey is to just really embrace the layers, to do the healing. If something comes up for you, if something triggers you, look at it. Look at it right in the freaking face and say, I see you. And then when you say that, I want you to look at the version of yourself that emotion, that trigger is tied to. Is it the younger self? Is it your teenage self? Is it your adult self? Where does it land in your life? How can you work through it? Face your shadows. Do not ignore them. They are a part of you. Love them. Look at them. Embrace them. Because they're not going anywhere. It's a part of who we are. So ride that roller coaster. Keep going up and down with courage because you can do it. Okay? And again, if you are finding yourself in a place where you're just like, oh my goodness, how do we get through this? I reassure you, I feel like I've been through so much in my life. And sometimes I wonder, how am I here? How am I here? But I am. And I can tell you that you can do this. And if you need the extra help, if you need to seek out help for different areas of your life, look for it. Don't be embarrassed about it. Look for it. You don't have to do this alone. Okay? Stand in your truth, and your truth will always anchor you. So I hope that you found this helpful today, but I really want you to just reflect on this and just ask yourself, like, what layer of an awakening are you in right now? Or if there's a shadow that's being presented in your life, what is the shadow asking you to heal? What is trying to get your attention? That's just something that you could ask yourself. And that's me and my journal prompts. I love to give you guys journal prompts so that you could really work with your thoughts, to put them outside of yourself so that you could see them in front of you, because you have to learn how to help yourself. Sometimes we could be angry and sit in grief and pain, but don't allow yourself to sit there forever. Take your time to feel your feelings. Give yourself 24 to 48 hours, maybe even 72 hours to feel what you have to feel. Understand what's happening and reflect on it. But don't allow yourself to sit and drown in it. So I hope this episode you found it helpful, and I will see you next time.